Right. So I've been having a lot of people ask me how exactly we do our 30-day cleanup. And for some reason, prospects and people who reach out to us, they just don't trust a random person on the internet. And I don't know why. So I'm going to go into actually how we do this and how we get it done. I'm Dan Saavedra from MergeYourData. This is our 30-day HubSpot cleanup and how exactly we clean up your HubSpot in 30 days. So I'm going to go through the breakdown here so that you know exactly what we do and how we get results. So before I even go into the exact way we do it, I always like to cover the real cost of a messy HubSpot portal. You probably know a lot of this stuff, to be honest, since you're looking at this video, but a messy HubSpot portal transforms a potential gold mine into a significant liability. If you have all this data in there, you have all these workflows, you have all these people interacting with the platform, all these integrations, but you can't use anything in it, then you're just paying a bunch of money for software that you're not even using and maybe even yelling at your team to use, but you're not doing anything with the data at the end of the day. So it's just a waste of everyone's time, a waste of everyone's investment. It leads to leadership distrusting critical data, sales representatives abandoning the CRM completely and just tracking everything through their email or on a spreadsheet, and then valuable marketing leads disappearing into the void. This is a huge one. We see like 20 to 25% of high fit leads and accounts never getting contacted. So marketing's paying for these leads. They're actually getting interest and then nothing happens. And so this results in substantial hidden costs, including dormant pipeline you can't access, systematically ignored leads, inaccurate reporting that erodes executive confidence. They don't care about the data coming from your CRM because it's not right. And then countless hours wasted by sales teams fighting bad data, trying to do things outside of the system, updating the CRM when the executives asks and all this other stuff. And so these are the common portal problems that we see here. A lot of orphan deals and contacts. No one's responsible for them. They're not tied to anything. There's no information in them. Deactivated users still being assigned to active client records, to active deals that are still in the pipeline, a bunch of other things, broken workflows and automations. If you've had HubSpot a while, you know this. They just all interact. You don't know how they interact and they cause problems. Meeting data mismatched to reality. So maybe you have meetings tracked in HubSpot or only some of them. And so you don't actually know when meetings are happening or even what's happening during the meetings. Properties filled are less than 5%. Reports that don't reflect truth, sales and marketing handoff failures, all this stuff. We see it over and over again. And so for this 30-day process, in the first week, we're doing a lot of auditing and planning. And so before we touch a single record, we're actually trying to understand what's broken and why. So we do this in the sales process at a high level, and then we get deeper into it in that week one. We have the kickoff call. We ask some additional questions so that we know how to explore your portal. And at the end of week one, we're coming to you with a exact plan on how we're going to fix everything. You can approve and deny those steps. We'll ask about nuance that we found, and then we'll go from there. So complete portal scan, we're looking at all of your records and every single object, how they're tied together, what's missing information, weird things that we saw, usage patterns, all the stuff that we typically can see in accounts. We're going through it. We're doing a workflow audit, mapping everything inside of your account, seeing how it interacts. We're doing integration health. So we're MergeYourData. And so we know data, we know integrations. So we take a look at integrations that are actually causing issues in the first place and making your portal messy. And then last but not least, we're going to the reporting analysis. We're asking you which reports you don't even look at because they're not right. And then we're fixing those. We're fixing the core issues that are causing those inaccuracies. And so then that gives us a prioritized roadmap that we can review with you. You know what's being fixed. The fixes get done. You know it's not going to be a problem going forward. And so then the execution is actually the part here that takes a lot of effort. So you see here, we have 8 different sections here. There's more detail below that, but we're not going to go into all of that, obviously. But first, we're doing a contact cleanup. We're finding duplicates. We're intelligently merging based off of the rules we share with you. We're validating emails, flagging ones that bounce, removing them as marketing contacts. We're doing personal email enrichment. So if you need other enriched data, pulling that into the system. We're normalizing properties. We're fixing all associations. And then we're making sure life cycles are correct and validated. So that's all in the first phase or in the second phase, the contact cleanup. Then we're doing the same thing with the company cleanup, except we're also doing parent-child company relationship validation, which is a big one, especially when you work in enterprise or mid-market. And there's a lot of acquisitions, there's a lot of roll-ups and all that other stuff. We also do some account scoring and segmentation setup if you don't have it and you need it. And then we're going into deal cleanup after that. And so we're fixing orphan deals that are disconnected from contacts and companies. If there's no contact or company tied to a deal, then you're going to be missing out on customers in your CRM. You're going to be targeting people wrong on email and sales outreach. They're going to be pretty upset with you if they're already a customer, but they weren't tied to a deal, so they never got moved to customer, and now they're getting marketed to like we don't even know them. We're doing deal stage validation to ensure accuracy, make sure that the deals and pipelines are actually being used. So we're rationalizing pipelines here, as you can see. We're going to do deal amount validation, make sure that it matches up with how you actually measure revenue. If you're doing a total contract value, if you're doing ARR, if you care about MRR, if you care about cash collected up front, the amount's going to represent that. We're going to fix that. We want to make sure we get forecasting as accurate as possible off of that data. We're going to do close date hygiene and probability adjustments based off of everything we see. And then we're going to do activity tracking verification. If there's no activities on deals, we see it all the time. We're going to see what the cause is and fix that. Then we're doing property consolidation. Usually we're targeting 30 to 50% property reduction. A lot of times there's stuff that people just don't need. Integrations add them, old employees add them. It's just a mess. And so we archive those. We archive any unused properties filled less than 5%, as long as they're old. We consolidate redundant properties. We standardize naming conventions. We create clear property descriptions and usage guidelines. We establish field dependencies and required fields in different pipeline stages. That's the property revamp that we do. Then we go into the workflow and automation fixes. And so here we're looking to delete or consolidate redundant workflows that cause issues. We're rebuilding any broken ones. We're implementing any lead assignment, lead routing, deal routing workflows, and eliminating any gaps in ownership so that nothing ever falls through the cracks. We're fixing assignment issues from deactivated users. We're creating notification workflows for follow-up triggers. We're building lead routing based on territory, product, or deal size. We're setting up automated lifecycle stage progression. That's everything that goes into the workflow and automation fixes. This is a beast to tackle. If you have someone who doesn't know what they're doing, they will mess this up. We've seen it many times before. If you have a portal with 100, 200, 1,000 workflows, these need to be cleaned up. You need to map them and understand how it's affecting your data in your portal. That's what we do here. Forms and tracking fixes. This is a big one. The tracking code on the HubSpot tracking code on your website. We make sure that's good. We add any UTM properties to your forms that are missing so you have better tracking. We add our workflows in there. We verify email deliverability of your sending domains. And then we'll work on any other form submission notifications that are being missed. Then we get on to integrations here. We're still not done. We're going on to integrations. We're going to remove inactive integrations for security, for performance, for data accuracy. We're fixing any meeting sync issues. If you have wrong owners, if you have missing data from integrations like Gong, from Google Meet, from wherever. We're validating data flow in both directions for any of the integrations. We're pairing active integration syncs with things like Salesforce calendars or tools. We're testing webhook deliverability. We're documenting integration dependencies and limitations. So if there's issues, there's limits that are affecting your HubSpot data quality, we're tackling it there. And then we finally get on to reporting reconstruction. And so this is when we're going through your list of reports that are critical to you, seeing which ones are wrong by asking you, fixing those, making sure we're fixing the underlying issues here. So that includes ROI attribution reports, marketing performance, sales activity dashboards, whole 9 yards there. And so throughout all of this, your team keeps operating normally. We're working in the background, we're communicating with you, and then we're doing major changes or deployments overnight so that you don't have any interruption during the day. Usually this takes companies 6 to 12 months to do internally. Sometimes they can do it. Sometimes it still ends up being a mess. A lot of times it just pulls people away from work that they are experts in. And so then you're having someone do something that they are not good at, wasting all their time, and you still don't get the results. And so then week 4, phase 3, validation and complete deliverables. This is everything you get here. We're making sure that everything that we change is working as expected. You should see all of this outcome from the data quality enrichment section. 0 duplicates, full data enrichment, property reduction of 30 to 50%. This is an example of a recent one we did. Standardized data formats and naming conventions, complete association mapping between all objects, validated email addresses, personal email enrichment, whole 9 yards. Workflows and automations. We're fixing everything broken, conflicting, causing issues. We're making sure things are routed correctly. Life cycle stages are automated. Deal stage progression is good. In pipelines and deal management, we're making sure that pipelines are rationalized. There's no orphan deals. Deal stages are actually representative of the sales process. Stale deals are being identified. Win-loss reasons are standardized. Deal probabilities align with actual conversion rates. Pipeline velocity metrics are established, and you're good to go there. And then integrations and connections. Oh my goodness, this is so much stuff. I can't believe we do this in 30 days, to be honest. Shows you what good process gets, right? All integrations are health checked. Meetings are fixed. Calendars, emails, integrations, API connections, all good to go. Forms and tracking, fixing all the UTMs, making sure routing is good, making sure any logging settings are fixed. Tracking code is validated. Reporting and analytics, all fixed, all accurate. You can use them finally. And then documentation and training, we're actually going to give you a full summary before and after. We're going to bring out any missed opportunities that we saw, at least a light version of that. We're going to provide documentation through our tool that we share with you. We're going to provide you some step-by-step guidance for common tasks that we saw being an issue. We're going to be documenting any workflows that need to be documented, documenting any integration that needs to be documented, and then we're handing it off to your team. We're having a nice little recorded handoff session. We're sharing a free user course for the entire sales team so that they can start doing stuff in HubSpot in a trade manner. And then we're having 30-day post-cleanup check-in to ensure that everything's still stable. So this is everything that you get in the cleanup, and it's a lot. I just listed off a bunch of stuff. These are not guaranteed results. These are typical average results that we see from clients. Obviously, it's on a case-by-case basis, depending on where you're at. We usually see 80 to 90% data accuracy. 100% is not a realistic goal. And so we get as close to that as possible so that your team can operate with enough confidence to actually move the needle on revenue. We typically reduce almost 50% of properties, usually with the B2B businesses we work with, 350,000 in dormant pipeline from missed routing on leads from deals that were that are owned by deactivated users and never picked up by anyone. After this, we usually see 85+% CRM adoption because we have things documented. It actually represents what the team is working on. And then we're saving all this time for manual effort from salespeople cleaning up deals, trying to find things, trying to go through their pipeline and fix stuff. So based off our pricing, that's usually an 18x ROI on the first year on average. For real client wins here, we have a SaaS startup that nearly doubled their revenue in one quarter after discovering deals reps had forgotten about. They had such a high volume that literally reps were just not addressing deals whatsoever. They were just chasing the high target ones, forgot about the other ones as only top of mind things. A marketing agency had 121% growth in won deals in one quarter. Half their leads are being lost and ignored. There's a lot of inbound, a lot of paid ads where their sales team just had too much going on. And so they actually weren't even getting leads routed in the first place for most of their leads. 53% growth over 1 year for this marketing agency. They had revenue plays where they could actually reactivate pulled deals because their pipeline, their contacts, their companies were associated correctly and data was cleaned up. And I'll just jump into the investment and next steps over here. We basically break this up into 3 tiers. We have a small one for 8K, a medium one for 12K, and a large for 15K. This is all based off your portal size and complexity. And so we look at the number of records, the pipelines, the integrations, and then we price it based off of that. You can even get this accelerated if you have board reports or something coming up. For an additional 5 or 10K, we can actually compress it all the way down to 7 days, which is nuts. DIY is slow and costly. Agencies and contractors often deliver slow results. This is stuff we do over and over again. So we get the job done, right? You saw everything that's included. I'm not going to go over it again. If this is a problem you're facing, if you trust in this process that I just showed you, you know that the detail is there because we do this often and we know how to do it. There's a link in the description below the video that you can book a call with our team and we'll take a look at your portal and see if there's an opportunity there to make it better. So I'm Dan Saavedra from MergeYourData. Appreciate you watching and I'll talk to you soon.